Hey everyone, welcome back to Funny Money. My name's Caleb Guilliams.
I'm Dominic Syracuse.
And this channel is all about helping you reach your highest potential and be more intentional and master this whole money thing. I got a comedian with me that is, for better or worse, is on his road from being broke to becoming wealthy.
Yes.
And we are having a bunch of fun talking about different money principles. We opened it up with his story. If you go back in the series, we talked about our 4 principles, which I think is a must to listen to, so you have context.
Absolutely.
And now we're just talking about different just concepts, and today's concept is all about inflation.
Right, and
I want you have a story. That
I do. So as Caleb said, I'm a stand-up comedian and an actor, and for the longest time, I was one of those starving artists. I was broke because I was in service to my craft, and I couldn't figure out how to generate money off of it. It wasn't that I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
It was that I just didn't have the right mindset. And so Caleb's helped me with that. We want to share that with you. So I was telling Caleb this story about my grandmother. My grandmother always used to make me laugh. I had this wonderful Jewish grandmother from Brooklyn. So she talked like this. She was like, "Hey, Dom, how are you?" Oh gosh, that was my grandmother. And she was always so funny because she would flip her lid about what I thought was the littlest thing. Mm-hmm. Which for me, my favorite was I'd go up to her and I'd say, "Hey, Grandma, I'm just going to the movies. Could I get $20 to go to the movies?" And at the time, I was young. I wasn't, I wasn't working for myself. I had to ask for the money. So I was like 28 years old. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I was like, maybe like 15 or 16. So I go up to Grandma and I go, "Grandma, could I get $20 for a movie?" And she would go, "$20 for a movie? Are you kidding me?" She's like, "When I was your age, it was 10 cents, and that was, you'd get a drink, popcorn, and the film." And you'd always go, "Oh, Grandma, you're old." And you wouldn't think about it.
Yeah.
But then I was actually doing the math on that.
Yeah.
10 cents to $20. That's like what, like 2,000% increase or something like that?
It's a lot of percentage.
Like a ridiculous percent increase. So now imagine you've got grandchildren. Yeah. And your grandchildren walk up to you, and inflation continues in that way, and it's a 2,000% increase from now, and you go, "Hey, they go, "Grandpa, can we borrow some money for a movie?" And you go, "How much do you need?" And they go, $4,000. You'd be like, this is what I'm going to sound like on Grandpa. $4,000? What? When I was your age, it was 20. Are you kidding? And they're going to go, "Oh, Grandpa, you're so broke." No, but
so the real question is, do you understand why we have inflation?
That is something I don't understand. All I know is, every time I talk to my dad or my grandmother, they talk about how gas used to be 1 cent and a car used to be $5 and a house was $16, and now here we are.
There's a couple theories, but I think the most basic understanding of inflation is that our money is getting less powerful and the money supply is getting greater. Okay, so essentially, if you have $100 today,
right,
and we continue to put money in the economy, which again economically may not make the most sense,
right,
but we don't really have any control over that now.
Right.
That $100 every day that goes by is becoming less valuable. That's why your grandma took this example of back in the day, 10 cents could buy her a movie and popcorn, and now it costs $20, which I think you're off in both of those numbers, but we'll just I'm like, $20, that's even high even now, but I guess with popcorn.
Are you kidding?
In LA,
yeah, you don't live in LA. You don't live in LA. All right,
I wouldn't last in LA.
Me and my son, if I'm not exaggerating on this, if me and my son want to go to the movies, I gotta budget about $85 for the whole thing. I'm not kidding. $85 because you got there's parking, and then there's getting the movie, and then there's gas, and then there's the cost of concessions.
I think you got to move out of LA.
Yeah,
that's a whole other video.
Yeah.
Okay, so
sound like my dad.
Yeah. Okay. So I want us to understand inflation, how it applies to us. Okay, so let's hit the screen here. So one of the things, you want to put me in the corner?
I do.
So one of the things that let's just take right now. Let's say you're making $50,000.
Okay.
This will be true if you make $500,000 or you make no money. It's just principles right here.
Gotcha.
So you make $50,000, and let's say for now you spend 100% of that 50.
Okay.
Okay. So your consumption is $50,000.
Right.
Okay. But because of inflation, the 50,000. I'm gonna draw this because I'm a little OCD here.
No, of course.
Oh boy. Anyways, that 50,000, like that's what you're consuming. But because of inflation, because every year our money's getting less and less valuable, just to maintain your current lifestyle, just to keep what you're currently doing, you have to spend more money. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, rent goes up, things get more expensive. We go ask, why are things getting more expensive? You look at certain sectors like college and healthcare, they're increasing way more, but the typical number is 3%.
3%
every
increase?
year, 3% increase, which means, you see this curve?
Mm-hmm.
Which means it looks a lot like compound growth, but the longer you live,
right,
the more money you'll need just to maintain your current lifestyle.
Absolutely. To stay right where you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So how old are you now?
I'm 31.
31 years old. And we're going to say you work till 70. Okay. So that is for 39 years. Okay. 39 years. We're going to just do a simple calculation, and I want people to understand.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to understand. So we're going to take a calculator. We're going to do a new calculation.
Okay.
We're going to say $50,000 is what you're used to spending now.
Right.
Okay. And over how many years?
39.
39 years. We're going to increase. I'm going to change my calculation. So we have $50,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to increase 3%.
Okay.
Over
39 years.
39 years. You need $158,000 a year just to maintain your $50,000 lifestyle
just
today.
to stay broke. You need that much just to still fight to make ends meet.
Yeah.
That is wild.
So the point, and what I would do is on that curve, I would write at 70, you need $150,000 just to maintain what you're currently doing, and that's just assuming let's get more depressed. That's just assuming a 3% increase. There's something called lifestyle inflation. Do you have any idea what that means?
Is that what all those rappers talk about when they're spitting Cavassier and?
That pretty much is, once you enjoy a luxury, it becomes a necessity. So what that means is that in 10, 15 years, as you make more money or whatever, you're not going to want to live a $50,000 lifestyle. You'll want to live a $75,000 lifestyle.
Right.
And once you drive a car that, like, I own a Tesla. Okay?
Nice.
Once you experience a Tesla, you don't want to go back. So you're like, your lifestyle is also inflating the money that you want to have. You wonder why people don't have any money.
Right.
Number one, they're spending money.
Right.
That they don't have.
Yes.
And then every year it gets more and more. They're just like in this rabbit hole.
Yes.
So the point of the matter is, the principle is things are getting more and more expensive. It's because we're pumping in money.
Right.
It's but we also have to understand that we need to start investing and being smart with our money, mainly because at 70, you need your money and you need a system to be able to kick off $158,000 just to maintain what you're currently doing.
Right.
And I don't want to just be a maintainer.
Right. So I would love. Could I interject here with a little bit of CogB, a little cognitive behavioral stuff?
Let's do this.
Okay, so for those who don't know, I run a company called Cognitive Behavioral Theater, where I use theater and improv techniques to talk about cognitive principles, our brain. And Caleb and I talk a lot on this channel about wealth, and not just wealth in money, right? But wealth in lifestyle, right? Yep. Now look, here's what a lot of people don't understand is people don't realize we actually have 6 realms of what's called wellness. Wow. And you better wealth, right? Yep. So we have 6 realms of wellness. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there, okay? Mm-hmm. And we have our mental wellness. We hear a lot about that. We have our mental wellness, okay? I'm just actually going to write wellness in the middle so we all know. So mental wellness, and then we have our financial wellness. Yeah. And then we have our spiritual wellness. We have our physical wellness. We have our, these are the ones that I always get confused on, but then we have our social wellness. That's our friends and our things like this. And then, so that's mental. And then our relationships, right? Yeah. How well are our relationships? Now, here's why I bring this up is because a lot of times they intertwine, right? To where a lot of people's mental wellness is tied into their financial wellness, or a lot of people's financial wellness might affect their relationship wellness. Oh, I'm making all this money, but I'm not, it's affecting my relationships, or it's affecting my body. I'm working all the time and I can't work out. So when people make investments in things with your time and your money and all that stuff, it's important to make investments in every single one of these things if you want to be well-rounded, and they can all work for each other, right? The more physically healthy you are, the more energy you're going to have to make money. The more mentally healthy you are, as we talked about before, the less you're going to be stressed to make financial decisions and all of this stuff. So when we talk about, the reason I wanted to bring it up is we were talking about with inflation over time and how things are going to grow. When you start focusing on these things and putting your attention towards this stuff grows as well. Right? It's going to be, the more you invest in your physical health, the longer you're going to live, which is going to help you with this. The more you invest in your social well-being, the happier you're going to be for all of that. I will be honest, I got so excited to write all this stuff, I forgot the grand takeaway that we were going to talk about based on all of this, but it's it's important. One, I want to let people know about that and how when.
Well, can I?
Yeah,
please. Can I wrap this up? No, let's keep it on.
Okay.
So here's the takeaway, and you want to put us in the corner?
Yes, I always forget to do that.
Inflation. Look at each one of these: relationships, which will have future kids. Social, which will be around with people. Physical, as you get. I mean, I'm spending a lot of money making sure that I can maintain going to the gym, doing different things, biohacking. Spiritually, like we're doing missions trips. I want to see more people. Right. Financially, obviously, I'm trying to grow that. So everything other than financial, every area you can see you want to invest in those are going to get more and more expensive.
Absolutely.
Because when you say that, wealth has everything to do with being mentally well, having great relationships, being great in social side. So it's like this is an example of lifestyle inflation. Yes. And that has nothing to do, by the way, with the financial.
I remember now.
Like a 3% is just the economy pumping in money.
Exactly.
But we have to understand 3% plus your lifestyle choices, and the point of the matter is inflation will crush you if you don't have a strategy.
Absolutely. And I want to say that real quick, because now I remember we were talking about, you were talking about lifestyle inflation as well. And you're talking about once you drive a Tesla, you're always going to want to drive that. Well, have you ever heard of this principle? A lot of motivational speakers talk about it. They talk about your, some people call it the thermometer or thermostat. Other people call it just your standards, right? So here's what this means is you have a standard. People say, this is my standard of living. Part of the reason I was so broke financially was because I had very low standards. I live in a beat up apartment in the ghetto where we play games called gunshots or fireworks, where we have to guess which one. But the thing was, because I say, well, that's what I can afford and I can live in this situation, I don't fight for more. My standard is very low. And that means I only need this much money to maintain this lifestyle, so I don't have to do more. Now, when you raise your standards, when you say, you know what, I'm putting this up, I want a better life, you're going to start working more for that better life. But you also got to raise your standards all over the place. Some people have very low standards when it comes to relationships. Some people have very low standards when it comes to physicality or spirituality or any of those things. And so when you raise your standard in one area, then you raise your standards in all of these areas and you keep fighting for it. And that adjusts for inflation. So we talk a lot, once again, about wealth. You can start becoming more wealthy in your social life. You can start becoming more wealthy in your physical body. You can start becoming more wealthy in your spirituality based on how you spend your time, how you spend your energy, what you invest in. And that's all going to lead, if you listen to Caleb, to growth financially, because this is your whole self. All of this is you.
Yeah,
right?
And we're going down some rabbit holes here.
We are.
But the point is, if you're wealthy in every category. And financially gives you the ability to show up more powerfully in your social circles and have better relationships because you can invest in your time and money but has everything to do that. So just understand, I think the takeaway in this video is everything gets more expensive. Right. Factor that in and understand not only, I mean, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that goes into why inflation, but we have to understand that inflation is a silent tax that will destroy you if you don't know how to factor that in. Any final thoughts? Can't do it any better than you just did. Thank you for subscribing. Share this video with people that need to watch this, and stay tuned to more videos on funny money, because what we're gonna do next, I don't know this is gonna be in the queue. Right. We're gonna talk about good debt and bad debt. Ooh. And this is something that's one of the most requested topics, because a lot of people don't understand how to make decisions off of when they should go into debt, when they shouldn't, and when they can be better off, or they shouldn't be better off. I can't wait. Let's do it.